Negro Leagues baseball, a shared legacy. It was not just about the money. Dark men like Grandpa Satch remained excluded from Major League play and walked out of towns, heads bowed, backs bent, voices softened. Oak tree men feared dusk, feared whites, and stood tall, proud, and free in the island sun. Home run plate a la Joshua. When mommy prepares this meal for you, these simmered red kidney beans with white rice y con, and places the crusty, tasty film from the bottom del caldero onto your plate, when she dips and redips the spoon into the thick, creamy liquid to color and flavor each bite, the nutty caramel richness and your lips still islands apart. When she pierces the stuffed turkey thigh with her fork and the juices run clear, not pink, and she holds the thickest portion of meat steady with her hands, cuts through the joints, pulls legs from the carcass and says, "Uncle Josh was a mule of a man," all dark meat and intense, she means eat your veggies too before you can go out and play baseball with your friends. A recipe story from my mother, Virginia. That's Paula Deen. Mommy's lips, dark brown like a gumbo of greens, thickened with roux, sweetened. She returns to the trill of stirring and the scent of Southern cuisine. Thick Spanish mimics a twangy, "Hey, y'all." Mommy replaces paprika for comino, parsley for cilantro. We watch her TV show, know her son and brother also cook. I know her laugh. Cornbread con canela trails trapped in the wind. The clouds dream of rain. I stand outside Paula's restaurant, press nose to glass. Mommy peels mangoes, slices fruit. Morir soñando. The art is in the squeeze, in the pushing and pressing of palm and tabletop, in the rolling and pounding of lemon on floor or wall. Tío Eliezer said this to all us children. We watched as Tío mixed milk and sugar, introducing spoon to mouth, tongue to drink, nostrils clenched, lips pursed, repeating the process until raising the corners of his lips into a neat grin. We waited seasons for moments of beverage and bonding. We mimicked man while vaguely aware of the meaning. Sometimes I turned the crank, sharp wheel cut into metal lids. Tío added evaporated milk, 2 cups of lemon juice and vanilla extract, then served it over crushed ice. Now, as a father, I know the secret lies in a relaxed and stable grip. To keep the thumb powerful and the hand soft, wrap fingers around the handle as if a bow, and in the continuous stirring of sour with sweet. Lifting the veil. The campesinos lived every line they sang in the bachatas, shared heartaches in bars and brothels with the bachatas. Pasarán más de 1000 años, corazón, and they'd still be lost, dumbfounded in their bachata. Ay, mami, yo no tengo culpa, no. Mi corazón fue el que se enamoró, says one bachata. Dim lights in a tiny impregnated room filled with acoustics, conjured to challenge the decency, fucking bachata. Auto-victimization narrative, seeking solace in a bottle of rum, a dark corner, bastard bachata. If this was another kind of story, I'd tell you about the sea, not rap with you about the history of the bachata. If the bachateros were truly penitent, they'd wash dishes or play their woman's clitoris, not a bachata. Lead guitar picks rather than strums, while the voice, the timbre, and texture plead, exhort, despair, ay, bachata. Mostly heard in the colmados or slum gatherings, treated as backwards and vulgar. Broke dick, ass out, bachata. Un hombre comiendo mango, chupándole la semilla, la creta, que bachata. Scrape the guida, bang the bongos, double entendres and miscegenation flow heavy, dirty bachata. During the Trujillato, words worked differently. Silence equaled safety. Trujillo is dead. Let's dance a bachata. Stealing home. You should have seen my father's arms swinging proudly down the street as he held his lover's hand. You should have seen my father's hand, fingers draped tight, tender around the palm as he held that lover's hand. You should have seen my father's face. You should have seen my mother's face as he cocked his lover's hand. You should have witnessed his stance, seen him shoulder and mount the arm like a shotgun, pull and push the weapon back as he released his lover's hand. You should have felt the buildings shake. You should have heard each voice quiver, then boom like small shallow earthquakes as he cursed his lover's hand. You should have seen the signs crash and crumble like Trujillo's corpse, streets screaming and crying, 1961 again, as he disposed of his lover's hand. You should have watched the Cruz de Malta scent plant itself in my mother's memory, reminding her she is animal as she followed his lover's hand. You should have noticed my thrill, seen my bat and satchel fall, heard my footsteps headed towards my father as he imagined his lover's hand. You should have seen his lover, rounding the corners like bases, as my mother's name escaped his lips as he petitioned his lover's hand. You should have seen that ring get pitched, my mother's knuckleball, little to no spin, difficult to control or catch, as my father's story debased his lover's hand. You should have heard the Aybar family break, seen our household split and shatter like bones, like bats, like waves, like dawns breaking as he held his lover's hand.